Hello my Smexy Suckers, I'm so excited to be talking to you today. So today I will be sort of discussing different gender identities and sexual orientation and gender romance, just like the basic LGBTQIA plus community like definitions. So L for lesbian, which is a woman who likes another woman. And then we have gay, which is a man who likes another man. And there are some people who are lesbians who will say, oh, I'm so gay. And it's really like an open thing, because homosexuality is liking the same gender. So it really just depends on what you want to be called. You don't have to stick with the community's labels. A lot of people have been making up their own labels for how they feel, and it's really like how you are comfortable. I am a person that doesn't care if you have nothing down there like a Barbie, everything down there, like if you're intersex, or if you identify as one thing and you were born another thing like a transgender. I don't give a shit. I really don't. I will love you for you. Most people would say that I am pansexual because I don't stick to one gender. I do not care about sexual orientation, gender identity, or whatever. I do not care. And there's a whole bunch of different things. Like, I am bisexual. I define myself as bisexual, but most of the community would define me as pansexual. But I say that I am bisexual because I like men and women, and if you don't identify as one of those, I will probably like you too. But I believe that there are two genders and then people outside of the gender. There is male and female, and it doesn't matter if you were not born male, but yet you believe that you are male because you are transgender. You are that to me. And if you were born a male and you now identify as a female, I will identify you as a female. I do not care what your original birth certificate says, or if you never got surgery. I do not care. I will respect your choices and your labels, and I will be there for you to support you if you need it. Okay, that goes along with the line of bisexual in B, and T and transgender. And then we have Q, which can be questioning or queer. So the person that I'm making this video for, they would be questioning. And because I'm making this video, so that way if you don't feel comfortable going out on the internet and searching for a specific thing, like you don't really understand like the definitions or whatever, you can be watching this video and you are just questioning who you are. You could be heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual, whatever. You don't have to label yourself if you don't want to. A lot of society, they say label yourself, and we as a society put labels on each other. We have the poor, we have the rich, we have the pretty, we have the ugly, we have the popular, we have the outcasts. We are surrounded by labels in our society, and if we really do not want labels, or if we don't really want to have if we as a person do not want a label, we don't have to have a label. But I label myself as bisexual. I label myself as a person who doesn't care about your gender identity or your sexual orientation. If you like me, I'll like you if you're nice. I'm also that person where you probably say that I am biromantic. Biromantic, or romantic in general. So there's sexuality, which is the desire or the like sexual desire to be with one person. And then there's romance, which is the desire to be with someone romantically, like in a relationship. And there's some people who are asexual and they have no desire to have sex. And then there's some people who are romantic and they have no desire to be in a relationship, but they can sleep with anyone. And like these people can never date because this person doesn't want sex but wants a relationship, and this person doesn't want a relationship but they want sex. And then there's a really complicated one. Not really. It's demisexual, and demisexual is when you are a person who needs, like they cannot do anything with a person. They have no sexual desire for one person unless they have a emotional connection. So I'm kind of like that. Like I will make out with anyone, but I will not have sex with someone unless I fully trust them and I have shared stuff with them and they have shared stuff with me and we are comfortable around each other. I will not sleep with a person until I've had some sort of emotional connection with them. And so that's why I'm sort of demisexual, but I also do not define myself as that. I define myself as bisexual instead of having all of these labels for myself. I just have two. And okay, so the next on the list is I, and I can be intersex. A long time ago, intersex was called hermaphrodite, but people do not like that, so do not use that word. It is intersex, but it is when someone is either born with, it could be someone who looks like they're male, but yet they have ovaries or a vagina. It could be someone who looks male or female and they have both parts, or it could, like on the outside and on the inside, like if they have a penis and vagina and testes and ovaries, that's like a lot. And then there can be someone who is female and has everything like a female except they have testes. But it's a whole bunch of different things, but it's pretty much like you have the chromosomes where you look like one gender, but yet you have both genders' genitalia. Oh, and then there's the A, which is ally. An ally is a heterosexual or straight ally, and that is a advocate or someone who supports the LGBTQIA+ community. For a long time before I came into my sexuality and I realized that it's okay being who I am. It is okay loving who I want to love. I should be comfortable with myself. But before I realized that, I thought I was a straight ally. And, you know, I am an ally, but I'm also part of the community, so it's just kind of like in there. But I have a lot of straight friends who support me completely, and they are my allies. Okay. So that is the basics in the words. Gender identity. So you can be cisgender, you can be bigender, you can be trigender, you can be non-binary, you can be gender fluid, you can be transgender. Alright, so transgender. I already covered this, but I will cover it once again. Transgender is when you are born one thing, but your mind is telling you that you are another thing. And then you'll eventually like transition. So if you are born a male, you eventually transition to be a female, or if you're born a female, you'll eventually transition to be a male. And some people, they never have surgery and they just take the hormones, and then some people, they go through it all. But there's the basics that you need to know if you ever have a transgender friend. 1, never, I repeat, never ask them what their birth name was or what their real name was, because they identify as that person that they are now, and you should respect that and use that name. 2, never ask what they have going on. Like, don't ask them if they've had surgery or what junk they have. Do not ask them what they have going in their pants or under the shirts if they bind. If they want to talk about that with you, they will talk about it. You do not ask questions like that. You do not ask about the genitalia, and you definitely do not ask them what their real name or birth name is. Next, you have cisgender. Cisgender is when you are born and identify as that gender. So you're born with a vagina, you are called a female right there and then, they smack your tushy, and then the rest of your life you identify yourself as a female. That's it. And then you have bigender, which is you identify yourself as two genders. So you could be either female and male, you can be female and non-binary, or vice versa. But it's a big spectrum. It really is, like, the community has been getting bigger because a lot of people do not identify themselves with the original labels, and now we have a lot of pluses, and that is okay. It's really how you identify yourself. Like, you could be non-binary, which is you don't identify yourself as any gender. You're kind of just floating around in the background, and everyone else is up here having penis and vagina parties, and you're back there just like being like, I am not any gender, I am myself. I have no pronouns. Do not identify me with pronouns like society wants me to. I am just a blank canvas. I am who I am. Or you can be gender fluid, which is kind of like a wave. Like, you have male, you have female, and you have non-binary, and just kind of like you're floating between them, and it's okay. You can do whatever you want. I usually tell my friends, do not label yourself until you're absolutely positive. And you don't need to make out with people or have sex with people in order to find out your sexual orientation. You don't need to cut off your hair or bind yourself to figure out what gender identity you are. You will feel it inside. If you don't want breasts and your vagina makes you uncomfortable and you're just like, I don't feel like I'm female, my mind is telling me that I am a male, then you can start that process. A lot of families, they don't want their kids starting T or E until they're 18 because they don't believe in it. But the best thing is if your child knows deep down inside, and they've talked to a therapist, and the therapist agrees that they have gender dysmorphia, which is like usually one of like the signs that you are transgender. If they are absolutely positive, then before they hit puberty, or as soon as they hit puberty, start them on their hormones that they should have in their body and that they identify with. Not have them go through all of that puberty just to have to cut off everything and leave them with scars and leave them with having gone even more time being who they aren't. Just continue asking questions. If you have any concerns, my email is always down below that you can use, so go ahead and do it. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please use those. If I didn't cover anything, please feel free to look at websites that have those things. Wikipedia is full of definitions. And then there's also websites that will teach you more about them. And you can go to some schools, they don't have it, but some a lot of states, they have LGBTQIA plus community centers that you can go to if you have questions. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please go give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that notification bell down below and hit the subscribe button. Yeah. I love you, Smexy Suckers, so much. Peace out. Bye.